Hello everyone. Today we have the LG G4 in our hand and we'll be reviewing the camera on this phone. LG G4 is the flagship device from LG which has been launched in the year 2015. The camera on this phone, as we know, is the granddaddy of all cameras available in the market today. Why it is called the granddaddy of all cameras? Let me explain. Before I go into the camera, I'll explain to you what is on the back. So don't get mesmerized by the leather looks on the phone, but please focus here. This thing is the laser autofocus on this phone. Something very unique, something very rare. This laser autofocus helps the camera focus onto the object within a fraction of a second as soon as you click the button on the screen. What you see here is a LED flash. Now LED flash is very common and we all know that it's used to take photographs in low lights. But what is important is below the LED light. So this thing is the color spectrum analyzer. The job of this analyzer is to understand the environment and optimize the white balance on the photograph accordingly, which makes sure that your photographs are in the optimal light and with the best colors possible. The lens is a f1.8 lens, aperture lens, which makes sure that you are able to take great photographs even at low lights. Also, the camera is equipped with a automatic image stabilization software which ensures that even when your hand shakes a little bit, the images are absolutely crystal clear and there is absolutely no problem in the images. So now let's go inside the camera and understand what exactly this granddaddy of all cameras is all about. So as soon as you go inside the camera, you see there are a few things on the screen. Let me explain one by one. So I'll first click on this top icon and you see the first thing that comes on the screen is three modes. One is the simple mode, second is the auto mode, and third is the manual mode. Let's start with the simple mode. As you can see, the simple mode is really too simple. Everything else from the screen disappears. All you need to do to take a photograph is just tap in the center and the camera automatically focuses and takes a photograph. There you go. So it's very simple. There's absolutely no control on the screen. The second mode, which is the auto mode, is a bit more detailed than the simple mode. There are few features which appear on the screen. So there is a flashlight which appears, so you can control the flash. You can switch it off, you can have it on, or you can keep it on the automatic mode and let the camera decide whether it needs the flash or not. The second is a toggle front and rear camera mode. So all you have to do is just toggle the camera from the rear camera to the front camera, and this is how it comes. So the toggling happens. So now let's see what exactly these modes are all about. As soon as I click into the modes, you see there are three different types of mode. One is the auto. Auto is basically let the camera decide what is the best kind of settings that it needs for the photograph. Second is a panorama. Panorama, we all know how it works. It's been there for a long time now. So you just click the start button and then start moving your camera and the camera takes a larger image and clubs it together. The third mode is a dual mode, and this is something I found really interesting on this phone. A dual mode camera, how it works is, I'll just show you. So a dual mode works like this. So what you have on the screen now is basically two cameras, both the rear and the front camera active at the same time, and you can record. You can take photographs, you can take video recordings, both the cameras at the same time. Works really well and can be very interesting at times. You can even do video recording from both cameras at the same time, and that's how the images show like. So you see the image also comes along with the front camera view in the picture itself. Something very interesting and can be used very nicely with a lot of combinations. What you can also do is you can play around with this front camera view where exactly you want it, and then you can take the photograph accordingly. I think this is really cool. This works really well. I'll put it on the auto mode again, and we'll go into the third mode, which is the manual mode. So as soon as you go into the manual mode, what you see is a lot of information shows on the screen now. This is something like a DSLR, I must say. Well, when I went through this features of this camera, I found it's at par, if not better than my DSLR, which costs really a bomb. So let me explain whatever I can. The first button here on the bottom is white balance. So you can manually adjust the white balance of the photograph. You can play around, you can see the colors changing, and you can play around with the white balance. So you can have the white balance that you want for your photograph. You can play around with all the other settings. You can play around with the focus. This is the manual focus. So you can focus the way you want. Again, something which is missing from a lot of digital cameras today. You can play around with this. You have the ISO setting. You can again toggle the ISO as you want and control the quality of the image that you need. You can control the shutter speed. So the shutter speed can be controlled and the setting go till 1:6000. This is really interesting because you can take such quality of shots which is otherwise not possible with any other kind of digital phone camera. You will have to play around with all the settings to get the perfect kind of picture that you need, but that's what this camera is all about, playing around with the settings to get the optimal picture quality. What you can also do on this camera is that you can control the kind of image that you are taking. So this button on the left, you see you can take a JPEG or you can take a raw photograph, which gives you more control while editing. So you have the complete control over the kind of photographs that you are taking with the raw JPEGs. Now let me go inside the auto mode again so that we have the normal screen on top. Now let's see what are the different settings that are available in this phone. First is the HDR, high definition recording, that's auto on and off. You can choose the size of the photograph that you need, 16:9, 4:3 or 1:1. But what is more interesting to see is the settings in the video camera. Just look at the video camera settings. You have the ultra high definition mode, you have the full high definition mode, you have the high definition mode, and then you have the most interesting thing, which is the slow motion. Let me show you what is the slow motion and how it works. So now what we are going to do is we are going to take a video in slow motion using the LG G4. What we've got is a sweet lime with us, and we'll squeeze that sweet lime into the glass. I have kept the video recording on my LG G4. And that's about it. Now let's see how the video recording has come on the G4. So I'll play it back, and remember it's gonna play back in slow motion. There you see. You can see the drops in slow motion. Wow, the effects are awesome. There you see a seed slowly coming out of the sweet lime, and there it falls into the glass. The effects on this are absolutely amazing. You can control the speed also of the image of the video, and you can have the output that you need. The camera on this phone is absolutely delightful. I'm trying to take a video in the broad daylight from the roof of my house, and you see I can, that's the clarity to which I can go. It's absolutely delightful. There is absolutely no snag. There's absolutely no snag in the image whatsoever. I can take crystal clear images. The colors are absolutely brilliant. I can see the real colors without any glitch, and the voice also that you are hearing is from the internal microphone of the camera itself. G4 comes loaded with a 16 megapixel rear camera and a 8 megapixel front camera, both capable of taking high resolution images. What is left is these three features. I'll start from the bottom. This is a pretty standard grid lines which is available in a lot of digital cameras today. Nothing very great about this grid lines. The second option is a timer. You can set the timer for selfies or things like that. Again, the third option is something which is more interesting, and this is very much needed in case of selfies. So what this option does is that you have to say any of these words and the camera will automatically detect that you need to take a photograph, and it will take a photograph. So let me demonstrate to you how. So I have kept the camera here and I want to take a photograph. Without touching the screen, I just need to say cheese, cheese, LG. So I have tried a number of combinations. I have tried saying cheese, I have tried saying LG, I have tried saying smile to take photographs, but you know the camera is too sensitive and it only takes words when said in a particular fashion. So if I say LG, it does not take a photograph, but if I try and say it politely, LG, 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 smile, smile, smile. You see, sometimes it takes the photographs and sometimes it doesn't. So that is probably one area of improvement for the camera. I am glad I could find at least one area of improvement for the LG G4, which is still truly the granddaddy of all cameras and any kind of mobile phone. One more thing that I would like to show you on the camera is the quick start feature, which generally people miss out, is the quick start feature. So normally when you switch on the camera app, how much time it takes for the camera to come alive and enable you to take a photograph. Now let's see. I am just going to tap on the camera screen and there you see the camera is active within a fraction of a second. This is the fastest that I have seen till date on any other phone, no matter how many octa-cores or hexa-cores you have, but it is very difficult for you to have this camera switch on almost instantaneously when you need it. Also, what LG has done is something very intuitive. This button at the back, the bottom one, can be used as a camera switching on, switching off and an image taking button. All you need to do is when your camera is in the standby mode and you need to take an image instantaneously, you can't wait to unlock your phone and then take an image. All you need to do is press this button twice. As soon as you press this button twice, the camera comes alive and takes a photograph almost immediately. Let me show you how. So I need to take a photograph right now. I'll just press this button twice and there you see the camera comes alive and takes a photograph also instantaneously. That's brilliant, because at times I miss a lot of moments which I would have otherwise captured. I think this is something really intuitive that LG has put on their phone, and I would love to use this feature in my daily life and I would not miss any more important shots. Thank you LG for such a great phone.